All is not lost. The world is not coming to an end, even though companies like Apple, Google, MSNBC, Fox, NBC, even though they don't respect you. I found a list of people that still do respect you. Who are the people that still respect you? Mr. Butters Handles, Jack Pat Pat, Captain Strong, and some of my other imaginary superhero friends. Welcome to the world's first, largest, and only Dan Stark radio show. I'm your host, Birdie Tolar. And this is the only show that's all about taking down the slave box. That's your friend TV. So, I was out looking for some news, trying to reach you to get you to understand that this slave box is nothing but a drain on your time that just sucks away your soul exponentially by the second. And I found just article after article about companies like Samsung and TVs falling on children. I guess they weren't satisfied when they're not sitting your children down in front of the slave box, damaging their brains and making them submissive, passive, weak, and indecisive, and so on. I guess they weren't happy with damaging your kids in that way, because there are all these articles out now about how kids, when they're not watching TV, the TV just falls on them. It just has to damage them. For some reason, it cannot leave them in one piece. But that's not what we're covering today. I was thinking that won't even reach you. You don't even care. It's like they've already decided we've got to make a way to destroy these kids with the TV on or off. Throw it on his head. Boom! Hit him in the face. Alright, but we're not covering that today. I was thinking I've got to go back. Hit you where it hurts. Gotta attack your friend TV. Gotta go to one of your articles. So what I did was up searching. I came across this article. It's from a couple years ago. But it's titled, Top 10 Benefits of Watching Television. And I'm going to try to go through this article. I'm laughing a bit already because anyone who listens to me on and off, you already know that I'm probably not even going to get through like a quarter of it, because I'll just like go on a rant, this long tirade, trying to explain just how ridiculous this is to you. And I'm just going to start right now. And I'm jumping around with the order, but this is the one that stuck with me the most. And you can go search for this article. Just type into your favorite search engine, Top 10 Benefits of Watching Television. Top 10, use the number 10, benefits of watching television. And then this should be number 1. And on the list, one of them is that it gives families, and I'm going to throw in there also friends, family and friends. It gives family, friends, close ones, something to bond over. And it says how my favorite season, from the time I watched Sesame Street to Mr. Rogers with my kids to the current day when blah, 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 gives you something to discuss. And they say it leads to discussions on real life situations. If that isn't a benefit, I don't know what is. And I just don't know where to start with this trash. I really don't know where to start. It gives you, let me break it down, it gives you and your friends something to discuss, something to bond over. It's going to help you make some friends. Gives you these real life discussions. This is the biggest piece of propaganda I've ever seen. So I was thinking about this. I was thinking, hey, maybe I'm overconfident. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm too ahead of myself. And actually, what people, because I've heard this before. I've heard it 1,000 times already, I'm telling you. I've heard this time and time again, but I'm just highlighting this article since it's in writing. But I talk to people constantly. I listen. I do more listening than talking. And what people always say is like, no, TV is so great because it gives me and my friends topics to discuss and it brings us closer. So I was thinking that maybe actually they are right. And I'm wrong. Maybe they're right and it's not just this black hole that evaporates freedom by the second. Maybe it really is a good way to bond. So I was trying to work this out in my head. How exactly does it work? If I'm wrong and they're right, how do you bond with a fellow slave over TV? So I sat down and I was like taking some little notes and trying to put together a script about how people bond. So if anyone listening is a producer, if you're a producer, do contact me, because here's the outline for my script. I'm going to go through this process that I hear bonds you. Since I made this script in my head, this little dialogue, I was thinking, okay, every story, every script needs a background story, and I really didn't know a background. So I was thinking, okay, I grew up in Chicago, so why don't I just make it there? That's the easiest thing. That should be the perfect location. So in my mind, this script, this bonding scene that we're about to go through, takes place in my city, in Chicago. Because I'm not sure about the lifestyles and other places, and it's simplest to just put it there. And this is a fairly large place, so anyone listening in the U.S. or in the Western world is familiar, more or less, with this city. And there are two characters in this bonding process that I'm about to take you through. One is a married man named John with 3 children. He's sending his kids to the public schools in the city, which any person in the U.S. is well aware are clearly being left behind even more. So this guy, John, he's one of the characters. He's a married man, 3 children. He's working a job and he makes like $60,000 a year. He's got a wife who makes $50,000, but for some reason, they just can't seem to get out of the rut they're in. They can't seem to escape to a place that they feel would be safer for their children growing up in the dirty, infested, crime-stricken Chicago. And character 2 in my story is a single mother named Jessica. She's on and off welfare, depending on the time of the year, due to the economy. She struggles week after week, month after month, year after year. But she always tries to look on the bright side. So those are our 2 characters. John, hard-working father, but can't seem to get ahead. And Jessica, the single mother. So one day, our 2 characters meet on the bus. And John says, "Excuse me, do you mind if I sit here?" Why not? I could use a male companion since I'm a single mother to protect me as we travel through this drug-infested, crime-infested inner city. Not at all. Speaking of this corrupt city we live in, that reminds me. Yesterday I was watching a show called Miami Vice about corruption and crime-infested cities, and it was pretty good. Oh, you like watching Miami Vice too? I mean, that's my favorite thing when I have to travel night and day, week after week through this dangerous city. I mean, I just love watching it on TV. I don't know why. I guess reality isn't enough for me. Tell me about it. Reality is definitely not enough for me. You know, every day when I'm watching that, I'm pretty much thinking like, the last thing I want to do is change my reality. You too! Oh my God, we're bonding! Yes, this is amazing. We're bonding on the bus. I mean, who knew that this show, which is just occupying our time that could have been used to change our reality, would bring us together on the bus? I mean, I don't know if anything will come together of this relationship. We're just going to talk and have a discussion. Then I'm going to go home and watch some more Miami Vice, hoping that my son makes it home through the crime-infested blocks that he's got to walk through to get home, because I've got to work 45 hours a week plus unpaid overtime to make sure that I can keep my job, so I can't go actually pick him up from school. So I just told him, hey, put on a bulletproof vest and make sure you walk home and try to walk in the center of the streets. Sorry, here's a little side note. That's what I was told when I was in high school. My uncle, great guy, mind you, he just told us, make sure you walk in the center of the streets. That way you are not as likely to get mugged, robbed, beat up, jumped, walking on the sides of the road, because that's where there's less light. And so at least if you're in the center of the street, and as long as the car has on his headlights. That'll give you enough time to get to the side and only stay in the shadow for a brief second, then pop back to the middle of the street. So, John is saying the same thing. And so, in my story, they start to bond on the bus. And if you're a producer, please do call me. I mean, this is what I really think happens. This is how people bond. Isn't this your article? This is the article people like to throw in my face. They're like, Bertie, no, TV show great, it can help us bond. But my story does not stop there. It continues. So this John and Jessica, they're on the bus, talking about how much they love watching the Slave Box, ignoring their reality. How much time they've invested in the Slave Box. And how much time they're bragging about how much they've ignored their children, their offspring, their reality, their neighborhood, their community. When there's a moment of silence after they've been going on and on and on about some shows. Miami Vice, moment of silence. And then John and Jessica are on the bus, looking out the window. And both of them happen to see a single mother. The eyes of all of them meet. Jessica looks out the window and her eyes meet. She can see the pupils of this woman and the struggle in her eyes, and the children and everyone. They all stare back and they exchange this moment of eternity. And John, he knows the look because he's got family members in the same situation. And they all take in the situation. And John turns to Jessica, and he just wants to confirm if she just saw what he did. He says, "Hey there, Jessica. I think we were both at a loss for words with what we just saw." "Yes, I saw it too." "You mean the single mother?" "Yes." "Speaking of single mothers, did you watch Happily Divorced?" "Oh, yes, I watched Happily Divorced. I mean, that was funny. It was great. All the people and their kids and no families and uncles taking care of the sister's baby and the daughter, and the stepfather did this and no father. And I mean, speaking of divorce and single parents, that was great. I know. Do you know the single mother? She's my idol because she just said, "I'm gonna make it through." I'm sorry. That happens every time I'm doing a show. When too much trash starts to come out of my mouth, I can't even pronounce any of the words I'm trying to say. It comes out like trash. It's like me trying to, I think, even if you gave me the lyrics to like a Jay-Z song now or a Kanye West song, and I had the lyrics right in front of me, once too much trash is coming out of my mouth, I wouldn't be able to pronounce it. I'm trying to think of one of his songs. Kanye West song. Let me pull it up. I'll give you an example. So let me pull up a Kanye West song. Let's do the one called Power. And I like that song because I like highlighting that song because it actually exemplifies how little power he has. Kanye West Power lyrics. I mean, it seems pretty silly to me. It's like, that would be like Jesus rapping about how he's got so much power that, after he gets shot like Tupac, he won't die. Like, if you've got so much power, why can't you stop people from shooting at you? Idiot. Alright, but here, let me just highlight what I mean. When too much trash comes out of my mouth, I've got, it won't enunciate. The words just can't come out. So here we are. I'm going to give you Bertie's version of Kanye West. And this is what I hear every time I hear the songs. And I can't avoid it, even though I'm living in Shanghai, China. Just today, actually, when I was going over a student's house, we were in the SUV, and the radio came on, and I was thinking about it. There was this song with him and Young Jeezy, Put On For My City, and I was just thinking, this slave music all the way in Shanghai, China, trying to bamboozle the whole world. But here's what I hear. I'm living in the 21st century, doing something mean to it. Do it better than Trash. Trash. Not gonna say anything important. Trash. There's your Kanye West. There, done. That's what I heard in the SUV today on my way to work. I put on for my city, on for my city. Maybe I'll pull up that song later for the dance portion of this Dance Talk radio show, because that is what I heard today going to work. And it wasn't, I was getting a ride to go over this student's house, the teacher, private student. And they sent the driver to pick me and my wife up, so we couldn't really control what was on the radio. Strangest thing, all the way in Shanghai, China. Young Jeezy and Kanye West. And the silly radio voices that, I was thinking about that. People just love that. And now this is B96, B96, the only station that brings you the jams. I was thinking maybe that's why I have so few listeners. Maybe I've just got to do that. This is Birdie Tolar, the only man who's taking down the slave box. People are so used to trash. It's just like my example. Let me give you this example again for anyone who missed it. This is like the example of when everyone tells me how useful the slave box is. It's so useful. They're like, Bertie, but it can teach us everything, and we can learn about the world, and we can get information and knowledge, and it'll make me so knowledgeable, and E equals MC squared, and the evolution of the theory of evolution, and the cosmoposes, and all, and they start splurting out all this nonsense. Yet, I said this slave box TV is like the world's buffet. It's true. You can get anything from it. You can learn how to set up your own outsourcing firm. You can learn how to start making your own phone applications from it. You can learn another language with TV, with media, with YouTube. You can do anything. You can learn to play the guitar. You can do so many things. Almost a million things, maybe more. But that's not what slaves do. And I said, this is the same as if I took you to the world's buffet and I gave you the finest sashimi from Japan. I gave you the most rich Indian curry. I gave you some prime rib organic steak from a homegrown farm. And I gave you so many choices. I gave you the salad with all organic vegetables, hand-picked. They invested a lifetime planting it, giving you presidential-style quality. And I take you to this buffet and I say, hey, what would you like to eat? Do you want that Thai food we have? Do you want the French food with the chef who studied in culinary school for 16 years, serving ambassadors? Do you want that sashimi that they had to plunge 2,000 leagues under the sea to catch? Do you want that? What do you want to eat? You name it, it's my command. What do you want to eat? And you're like, hey, Bertie, you said I can eat anything. I'm like, yes, you can eat anything. You tell me. You tell me what to eat. I will give you some shark fins grilled in a diamond skillet if you want. What do you want to eat? You're like, really? You're saying I can eat anything? I said, yes, you can eat anything. I'll chop off my hand right now if that's what you want to eat. Bertie, are you saying I can eat anything? I just told you you can eat anything. What do you want? I'll go dig up my ancestors if that's what you want to eat. If you tell me that the ribs they had were some of the best in history, I'm going to go find them. Okay, Bertie. You know that the rock over in the corner there. In the bathroom. There was this little rock when I went to the bathroom over in the corner. It looked like some people urinated on it. A couple people threw some used tissue on it. Has a little poo. Someone defecated on it. Think I want to eat that. I'm like, what? You don't want me to grill you anything up on this diamond skillet? Nope. You don't want me to, go dig up Michael Jackson's body. You eat his heart. Eat his heart out. Like whoever said that Die Hard or one of those stupid, silly movies you probably know. You don't want me to go do that. Something worth like $1 billion. Nope. I want that rock that someone defecated on. Okay. So, that is what I feel like sometimes people actually want. Welcome to Birdie's Dance Talk Radio Show. The only show that's talking about the slave box. And then I become all corporate and I've got like a staff of 38 people helping me and I'm sponsored by Verizon. And then I'm like, yeah, TV's bad for you, but it's actually not so bad for you. I mean, I watched a couple shows last night and it was pretty funny. I'll tell you it's bad, but it's not as bad as some people say. And let me give you an example. Because yesterday I was watching this show and I learned a lot from it. So I'm going to let you know, okay, we definitely can just try to limit it. Let's just try to limit it. That's what everyone says. And that, for some reason, that is what people have been manufactured to desire. You've been manufactured to desire this false alternate world. You're used to people speaking to you like that. That's the thing. I was trying to get my hands around that today as we were going over that little girl's house. I said, I don't remember if the song came on. I put on for my city. I don't remember if it came on before or after that commercial. But I was thinking both times. Let's say the song came on first. I was just thinking, this is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. You've got this guy who came from an impoverished people, an impoverished city, an impoverished community, an impoverished neighborhood with neighbors that didn't care, who got a little money, who was sponsored, who was made, selected to be famous, to preach to the next slaves. And the second he gets that little money, he's like, yeah, look at me, look at what I did to my city. He's sitting there bragging about how much he doesn't care about anyone from his community. Any of the people that he grew up with, even that 1 square mile, not even 1 square mile, like a quarter of a mile. He does not even care about that. That's probably too much. It's probably like 1/10 of a mile. How big is a block? He's like, I put on for my city, put on for my city, I put on for my city, I put on for my city, put on, I put on. When they see me in my car, they're like, yeah, that's my car. Ooh, you got a car. Yeah, that's my car. It's like, my car cost me $17 million. And that's the strangest thing to me. How can you get an impoverished slave and you give him a couple $1 million and he's going to sit there and brag and say, hey, I came from the dirt and now I've got like $17 million and let me tell you how I ignored the slum that I came from and I'm going to make sure that that slum never changes, but I'm going to make a record like, yeah, I put on for my slum, I put on for my slum, my slum, my slum. I don't even know why they call it a city. It's like a Kanye West city. That's what it is. When all these people, and I'm not picking on rap or hip hop, I'm talking about all of it. Pop. All of it is the same. When they're talking about their city, they're talking about slums. Put on for my city. When they see me in my car. I guess we're pulling that song up later, because I've been talking too much about this song today. I told you I probably wouldn't even get through this whole article. It's just so ridiculous. It is just too ridiculous. I didn't even finish this script that I put together. So these two people, Jessica and John, they're bonding on the bus. Because people are like, yes, TV can help you bond. So they looked out the window, saw the single mother with kids, and they're like, yeah, speaking of single mothers and kids, that reminds me, I was watching that, and neither, the woman is like much stupider. She's 17 times stupider than the man. She's a single mother in the exact same predicament, sitting around watching single mothers. But now, they continue on the bus. Because people love to say that this is so great. We're going to keep bonding. We're just going to keep bonding. TV is great. It gives you some common issues to talk about. How are you going to know what's happening? And then they look out the window and they see a politician campaigning as they sit on the bus. And then John is like, hey, speaking of politicians, I was watching MSNBC last night, and those Republicans are mad. They hate us because we're winning. I know my daughter is being given a worse education, and I know that I was socially engineered with qualities that are going to put her down the wrong path. And then the woman is like, yeah, I was watching the same show yesterday too, and even I've been socially engineered with qualities that are undesirable to the men of my race so that I can participate in self-inflicted genocide. I know that I'm poor and I'm on welfare and I'm betting everything on the No Child Left Behind Act, but those Republicans, they're jealous of me because I'm winning. Do you know, I voted for Obama and they're jealous. They just hate us. They hate me. They hate Obama. Yeah, they hate us. They hate us. They're just jealous. We're winning. We're winning. Wish I could get out of this credit card debt. Wish I wasn't in the position I was in at 45 years old with these 3 kids and I don't know what they're doing. I'm just telling them, hey, go take out as many student loans as you can and go to school because I don't have anything for you. I don't have anything to give you. I didn't know the world would be like this, but we're winning because I voted and those Republicans are jealous of me. And then on the bus, on the opposite side of town, do you know what's happening? The same exact story with some idiots on the bus. They're like, oh, we're winning. Yeah, we're about to get Obama out of here. Those Democrats are jealous. I mean, I know that I'm about to lose my job and I'm about to be in the welfare line too and all my benefits and I don't know how I'm going to make ends meet. Maybe I'm going to be moving back in with my mother, but we're winning. Oh, yeah, we're winning. And everybody's winning on welfare. Everybody's winning in a crime-stricken community. Everybody's a winner as a loser. That's winning 2K. You just win and I take your money. You just win and I take your jobs. You just win and you don't get a spouse. You just win and you cannot retire. And everyone's jealous of you. They're jealous of us. Those Republicans, they just hate us. They just hate us because we're winning. I'm winning. My sister's on welfare and I'm winning. I've got Obama. I'm winning. Shut up all you Republicans. Shut up all you libertarians. Shut up everybody. I'm winning. My sister's on welfare. There are 500 kids going downtown Chicago, doing flash mob riots. I'm winning. They're shutting down like 50 schools in the city. I'm winning. There are these reports that every child, whether he wants to or not, belongs to a gang based on where he lives. But I'm winning. I'm a winner. Because I'm winning, I'm watching this slave box and I'm bonding on the bus. I'm a winner. My child is going to have to receive mandatory homosexual education in the schools. It's going to be pushed on them. But I'm winning. Whoop Obama style. Hey, sexy ladies. Whoop, 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 whoop. Whoop Obama style. I'm a winner. You know what? I think it's time to dance. It is time to dance. Because I'm winning. I'm from Chicago. And I do it for my city. I put on for it. Because I'm a winner. So we are about to dance to Young Jeezy. I put on for my city. Because I really do. I put it on. I bought a car. Even though everyone in the city can't actually buy it and it's my car. But I came from the west side of Chicago, and even though that place is still rotting in the dirt, I put on for that place. I got me a nice car. My car has air conditioning in it. My windows are automatic. When they see me in traffic, when they see me in traffic with my car, they know that I put on for my city. What does that actually mean? Hey, if you've got to ask me, then you should go ask yourself. Because I don't know the answer. You probably don't either. I don't think anyone knows. I don't know who's listening to me, but I put on for my city. I know you're hungry. I'm not talking about all the homeless kids in my neighborhood. I'm talking about just something that sounds cool in a song. I know you're hungry. Oh, for my city. You know, that's what I do. I just talk about stuff that sounds cool in the song. Put on. I think it's cool to put on for my city. What does that actually mean? I really don't know. What does it mean? You would think if you went to this guy's city, you would just see like blossoming economies, the best schools in the country, happy families, the economy's up, the wealth gap has been lowered. You would think that if you went to this guy's city, it would be equivalent to heaven because he puts on for it. Put on for my city. What does that actually mean? Because if you ask me what I would do for my city, for my people, I would tell you something quite different. But for some reason, slaves are very satisfied to listen to this music. For some reason, you're very satisfied to ask someone, hey, what would you do for your city? And he's like, I would buy a car. On for my city, I put on for my city, I would buy a car. I'm gonna buy a car for my city. And even though no one in the city but me can drive it, I'm gonna talk big and cool and raspy on this track. Put on, I put on. What does it mean? I don't know. And then you love Kanye West. I just think it's such a joke. This guy is from the city of Chicago. Has he ever read a newspaper? Was he like blind and healed right before he became famous or before he was pushed into your faces? And for some reason, slaves love it. Slaves love this guy. You love it. He's just gonna sit here, coming from the same city, not one day talking about anything of importance. I want to go back. I can't rewind this track, but I want you to go back and actually listen to it for a sec. I would never encourage you to listen to the full 5 minutes. That'll just destroy your brains. But go back and listen to like 10 seconds of what he's saying. He's like, I feel like it's still women that owe me sex. I feel like it's still people that owe me checks. Can't think of which kid I'm gonna skip over next. Can't think of which topic I'm gonna talk about next. But I know it's not the community. I put on. You get that big fame on me. I put on. I'm not talking about anything. That's the thing. I don't know why more people. Is it? I don't have more listeners because I'm actually talking about something. I should talk about grapefruit juice. I should talk about grapefruit juice mixed in the sand and how it evaporates and no one actually cares. Just something useless. I put on for my city, on for my city. Because as soon as I mention something useless, it's like 1 million listeners. They're like, whoa, hey, John, Fred, hey, here, God, everybody, hey, forward this, let's tweet this, get it on Facebook. This guy's talking about nothing. Go tell everybody, alert the masses, he's talking about nothing. He just said something about grapefruit and it doesn't make sense. And he's like, I'm just going to talk about grapefruit for 4 hours. 1 million listeners right there. Maybe the next show, that's what I'm doing. I'm not even using words. The next show I have, I'm just going to get on the air and I'm like, welcome to the 1 million listeners right there. Slaves love this trash. That's what you love. I put on for my city, on for my city. The way they're talking up this city, they better be petitioning this city to be the host of heaven. They've got to have all these competitions and petitions and ways to figure out which city is going to host the next Olympics. This guy needs to be putting in the application for his city to host heaven. Talking about how good his city is, and when you go there, it's like rotting. It's like a third world country in the middle of the U.S. I put on for my city, on. Half of these cities, the police refuse to respond to emergency calls, or it's in Detroit, 50 minutes wait time. Which just means, yeah, we're not coming. You're on your own. They laugh at serious matters just the same as if you said, hey, my napkin got stolen. They're like, won't be helping you with that. But you're like, hey, someone just shot at me. They're like, won't be helping you with that. Cause you put on for your city, on for your city. I put on for my city, on for my city, put on. Love your Young Jeezy and Kanye West. Katy Perry, Taylor Swift, Justin Bieber, Lady Gaga, Jay-Z. You love these slaves that bring you these messages. Why do you love them? Still don't get it. Is it because they put on for you? Is it because of everything they did for you in your city, like Obama? Is it because they're all on the same team and I'm on the losing team? I'm the guy that's actually saying, hey, with everyone on the winning team and everyone so happy and everyone so proud, everyone talking about how much you've done for the city, why is it that when you open the newspaper, you're still reading the same trash? A 6-year-old girl tries to walk to school, shot, boom, 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 4 times in the face. And then you're like, oh, I'm winning. Yeah, got Obama in here. Swoop. He won. I'm winning. Yeah, that 4-year-old girl got shot, but I don't even need to pay attention to it because I won. Obama put on for my city, on for my city. And then the thing is, some of you will just say, I don't like what he said. He doesn't like Obama. I don't like any of these guys. You keep getting distracted. What are you waiting on someone else for to come and clean your house? You think I've got 3 cats. You think I'm waiting on Obama to come clean the kitty litter? I'm going to be waiting a long time. Even if he's the greatest man in the world, you've got to understand he's only one guy. He's busy. I would have to be an idiot to wait on him to come clean this cat litter. I put on for my city, on for my city. I really couldn't even get through the article. There were 10 points that this article, and all of them were trash. All of them were equally trash. I guess it'll probably span 10 shows for me to get through this all. It helps us bond. We can talk about things that don't matter. We can talk about The Simpsons. And then we can talk about Oprah. And then we can talk about Seinfeld. And we can talk about HBO. And it helps us bond. And movies and Harry Potter. And we can talk about Keanu Reeves and Will Smith and Morpheus and Star Wars. It helps us bond. It helps us have friends, and then we're bonding. Are you serious? Are you going to believe this propaganda? You're bonding. And for some reason, your bonds have improved your predicament. For some reason, these bonds are so important, so valuable, that you want to throw them in my face and say, see, Birdie, that's why we watch TV. In our rotting communities, it's because the value that it brings us is much greater than the value that we would get by improving ourselves in our communities. That's why we watch it, because we want things to talk about. You don't want to talk about your communities? No, we don't. We don't like talking about it. We've got to see it every day. We would rather talk about something else. Well, that's why you see it every day, because you're not talking about it. We just don't like it. We're going to talk about Will and Grace and some aliens and zombies and South Park and just lots of TV things and bond. You're going to bond, huh? Yes, we are. You're going to bond when your 17-year-old girl is getting shot trying to go to school. Yes, we are. And that's a bond. When I'm at her funeral, I'm going to bond on her grave. And I'm going to bond with her as I look down on her in her casket and go and kiss her. That's a bond kiss in the casket. Casket, bond, kiss. That's a bond. We bond. Everyone's bonding. Chicago is just full of a load of bonders. Why does everyone love bondeling so much? Bondo, bondo, bondo. A bondo, bondo, bondo. Gonna go bond. Go bond down in L.A. A bondo, bondo, bondo. Go bond over in New York, Atlanta, Detroit. They've got what? The mayor, I think it was last year, the mayor of Detroit, ex-mayor now, I believe. He said unemployment was actually closer to 50%. But the official reports say it's about 17 to 25%. But why talk about that? A bondo, bondo, bondo. Let's go bondle. That's a new word I just coined here on the show. Bondle. Slaves love to bondle. It's like a spelling bee. And the next word is cat. Cat. C-A-T. Okay. And next is bondle. Can you use it in a sentence? Slaves love to bondle. B-O-N-D-L-E. Correct. Slaves love to bondle. Why is everyone bondling? Got a bondle. Hey, bro. You see that new Harry Potter movie? Yep. Had to drive through that drive-by to get to see it, but it was pretty good. Oh, yeah, I'm glad you saw it, because if you didn't, I don't know how we would bondle. You're right. If I didn't see it, we would have no chance of bondling. I guess the only chance would be when your newborn baby gets shot. And I give him the bondle kiss in the casket. Oh, I wish you understood why I'm doing this show. I'm going to be a father really soon. And the thing is, as I said, I'm in Shanghai, China, but it really doesn't matter. Even if there were no laws preventing me or no laws requiring me to go back at some point, I would still do this. And actually, there are no laws. But let me tell you this. For anyone who's abroad, having a child abroad, there are certain regulations for having children abroad. So if you want to pass on, I can pass on my citizenship to my child. So my child can be an American citizen. But here's the catch. I'm living in another country. He's going to get the benefits of being American, having never lived in the U.S. So to prevent that, there are stipulations for people born after the year, I believe it was 1986. And then it was similar for people born before 1986, but he's in this generation. So he will have to spend a certain number of years. I think it's between 4 or 5 years in the U.S. after the age of, I think it was 15. So most likely, that means if I want to be able to protect my child's ability to pass on his citizenship because I'm giving it to him. But now, if I do not go back to this war zone one day where slaves are lazy, not taking care of their kids, no one cares about their community, their offspring, others, if I do not go back there, then I won't be able to do my job as a father, to protect my son. So the thing is, I'm very worried about this because there are too many lazy slaves that are just like, bloop, 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 bloop. Yeah, your son got killed, Bertie, when you came back, but what can you expect? That's Chicago. I put on for my city, on for my city. And I'm like, no, I should have just stayed away. Getting all shot in the head. But the thing is, honestly, I would still be doing this show, even if I were not having a child, even if that situation were not the case. But I'm saying, I'm worried because my child is going to have to live among all of these reckless slaves that don't care about anything except Justin Bieber and Kanye West, sagging their pants and like saying whatever trash comes out of Kanye West's mouth. Talking about, I put on for my city, on for my city, trying to rape my kid or something. I'm not picking on the U.S. I'm saying this stuff is worldwide now. You just go from country to country and you'll see it. This is universal. And that's why you've got the wealth gap now. No one can explain that. It's because slaves are so preoccupied with entertaining themselves rather than their predicament. No one's concerned with their predicament. You've got slaves down in like Guatemala, slaves over in Japan. I put on for my city, on, except they're repeating it in a different language. Boku no machari, on, boku no machari, on. Repeating the same trash. So, here's what I want you to do. Same way we end every show. I don't want you to put on for your city. I want you to stop watching the Slave Box. Why? Because TV needs your time. How much time? As much time as you have to give it. What do you mean? Well, do you have another year to watch TV? Oh, yeah, I can watch it for like an hour a day for another year. Okay, well, that's how much time TV wants. Okay, I guess, I've got a lot of free time now, semi-retired, so I guess I can watch it for like 2 hours a day for the next 2 or 3 years. Okay, well, that's how much time TV wants. So you've got to get this Slave Box out of your home because it will take as much time as you have to give it. It's like a freeloader. I know all about freeload. Well, I won't even go into it because I've got it in the show. I know a lot about freeloaders. In my family, we know a lot about freeloaders. In my community, we know about freeloaders. A freeloader will take as much as you have to give them. And that is what TV is. I just got like 30 minutes after work because I'm usually busy, sometimes working overtime, got a new kid on the way and all this, and got to go shopping and cook and dinner, and then I'm trying to get my MBA, so I only get, okay, well, TV will take that 30 minutes. I just got 10 or 15. Okay, TV will take it. Whatever you have, that is what a freeloader is. That's what a beggar is. It's like a leech, a parasite. If you have, what is the quote? Give them an inch and they'll take a mile. This is different. Give TV an inch and it's going to leech onto that inch. It'll still take a mile, but then it's going to like beg for another inch. It's going to always be there. So get the Slave Box out of your home. TV needs time. How much time? As much time as you have. But your communities are failing. Your families are failing. Your economies are failing. Your schools are failing. You've got too many problems. Your problems need solutions. Solutions need time. TV needs time. How much time? As much as you have. It's a cycle. Do you not get this? People keep hoping to input, to keep putting in the same inputs and get a different output. I'm going to keep putting in bananas into the blender and I'm hoping to get apple juice. That just doesn't make sense. You cannot keep putting the same thing in. Get the slave box out of your home. Stop putting on for your city. Stop listening to this trash. Because remember, slave music and the slave box go hand in hand. If you think I'm just talking about the U.S., you're wrong. If you think I'm just talking about rap, you're wrong. If you think I'm just talking about TV, you're wrong. Because now it's all the same. People are like, I don't watch TV. Just watch DVDs and TV series and online shows and Yoku and YouTube and music. That's all the same. So if you think I'm talking about that specifically, you're wrong. I'm saying you've got to free yourself from the slave box. The slave box will deceive you every chance it gets. Remember, problems need solutions. Solutions need time. TV wants as much time as you have. At some point, you're going to have to make a decision. It doesn't have to be today, but just keep that in mind. You will have to make a decision. Come dance along next time.